Hello friends, welcome to my channel Methodology Maths by Pratik Grover. I am Pratik Grover and today's our topic will be remainder theorem, which is from the chapter number 2 polynomials of 9th standard NCERT textbook. No doubt this topic also covers the division of polynomials by polynomials and remaining all the divisions which we have to be taken care in 10th standard also, and whose basic starts from 8th standard. So this video will be for those also who wants to give a quick revise for 10th standard division of polynomial by polynomial, or to understand the starting of the division of polynomial of 8th standard. This video which we will see today will have two main parts. One is to learn the division of polynomial by polynomial, and the second is remainder theorem. This remainder theorem is important for the 9th standard only. Okay, that concept is only for 9th standard, but the division is for 8th, 9th and 10th standard. So let us start with the topic. What is remainder theorem? We will start, or I will start explaining this using the very basic knowledge. We all knew that if we divide any two numbers, forget about polynomials right now. If we know what is division, so I am taking very easy example. What is 11 divided by 2? If I divide 11 by 2, we know that it is 5 tens and the remainder would be 1. Here 11 is my dividend. 11 would be the number which is inside is known as dividend. It is getting divided by 2, which is known as divisor. 5 over here is my quotient, and 1 over here is remainder. You must be very well be you know these terms very well, that what is dividend, what is divisor, what is quotient, what is remainder over here. Same thing follows with the polynomials. Polynomials also have dividend, divisor, quotient and remainder. Suppose there is a polynomial and the polynomial is always denoted in the form of p of the variable. This is the polynomial, and in our terms p of x will always be the dividend. Suppose it is getting divided by another polynomial, that polynomial will be named as g of x. This will be divisor. Q of x would be our quotient, and r of x would be our remainder in the form of polynomials. Dividend would be p of x, divisor would be g of x, quotient will be q of x, and rx will be the remainder of our polynomial terms. Now, with the formula we have learned in the earlier sessions, we know that dividend is equals to divisor multiplied by quotient plus remainder. We all knew this formula. Dividend, that is the number which is in between this division sign, is equals to divisor, means by which number it's get divided, into multiplied by quotient plus remainder. By this term we can write our polynomial in the form of p of x would be equals to g of x multiplied by q of x plus r of x. Dividend is equals to divisor multiplied by quotient plus remainder. Till now it's clear that we can write the division theorem, this is known as division theorem, in the form of polynomial also. Now let us learn the division of polynomial by polynomial. So next topic is to learn division of, after learning division of polynomial, I will go back to my topic of remainder theorem. Division of polynomial by polynomial. Polynomial by polynomial. Before understanding this, you should be knowing simple as monomial divided by monomial. We will go step by step. So what is monomial by monomial? Monomial, I will take an example. Suppose there is a term known as 77x square divided by 11x. This is a monomial, 77x square divide by 11x. 11x is also a monomial. If we divide it, I'll write in very simple form, which we all know, 77x square upon 11x. This 11 ones are 11 sevens are x, 1x will cut here, 1x will cut here. So final answer will be 7x. This is monomial or monomial. Let us take one more example. If it is not cut, suppose I'll take example of 33 or 335 xy upon 5z. I am dividing a monomial 335xy upon 5z. I'll get 5 ones are 5, 67s are. So 67, and xy and z are not cutting. So my answer will be xy upon z. This is 67 xy upon z. This is monomial by monomial. Now we will learn about polynomial divided by monomial. See, monomial is not known as polynomial. I have explained in the last video also. Monomial is monomial. If you have not gone through that video, please go through the previous videos of this chapter. What is a polynomial? There is a general video of polynomial. So go through that polynomial video and you will understand what is monomial, what is polynomial. So monomial by monomial you understood. Now let us proceed towards the question of what is polynomial divided by monomial. So we will talk about polynomial divided by monomial. Polynomial divided by monomial. Let us take a polynomial such as 2x square plus x plus or let us take 2x cube plus x square plus x divided by x. This is the polynomial in the variable of x. Polynomial having cube, square and x term respectively, and there is one x. When a polynomial is divided by a monomial, the thing which should be taken care of, this monomial should be divided with each and every term. That means I will write it as 2x cube plus x square plus x divided by x. This x, this denominator will be applied individually to all of them. They will become 2x cube by x plus x square by x plus x upon x. This x1s are x2s are xx1 means x1 cut and 1x cut. Here x1 cut, here xx cut. So the first term will be 2x square. The second term will be x and the last term will be 1. So this is your answer if you divide polynomial by monomial. Here, as you can see, it is exactly divisible. There is no remainder. There is no denominator left. That means if nothing is left over here, it is exactly divisible. What if I change the question to 2x square plus x plus 1 divided by x? This is also polynomial by monomial. Again, I will do 2x square plus x plus 1 upon x. This is my first step. So individually, if I apply 2x square by x plus x by x plus 1 by x, this x will get cancelled, this x cancel, this will not cancel. So 2x plus 1 plus 1 by x. This shows that the x is not exactly divisible by, this polynomial is not exactly divisible by x. If this polynomial is not exactly divisible by x, this one, I am talking about this polynomial, that means it will give a remainder. What would be the remainder? 1 would be remainder. First two terms were getting divided easily, but the third term was not divided. So here the remainder would be 1 if I divide the polynomial by x. So sometimes the polynomial is exactly divisible and sometimes it is not divisible. Your answer will remain in the ratio form. Now comes polynomial by polynomial. This is very important. You understood what is monomial and monomial? Single term you can easily divide. Polynomial by monomial. This is also very easy. You can easily divide it by taking division with each and every term. Now important topic is polynomial divided by polynomial. This is not as easy. For this, I'll take the polynomial p of x, this is my dividend, as 3x square plus x minus 1, and the divisor I am taking as x plus 1. I am taking polynomial 3x square plus x minus 1 upon x plus 1. Understand this very carefully. This topic is very important for 9th and 10th standards. We will go the same way as we go for the long division method. 3x square plus x minus 1. This is my dividend. I will divide it. We cannot individually divide it. We will divide it in this way. I will divide it by x plus 1, which is my divisor. This is my dividend. This is also known as long division method, and this is my divisor. Some conditions has to be taken care of. The degree or the powers should be in descending order in dividend as well as divisor. If it is not in descending order, rearrange them in descending order. 3x square, the power was 2, then the power was 1, there is no variable. So this is in proper order. This is also in proper order. So first condition is fulfilled, that the terms should be in proper order in descending order of their powers. Now, what is the second step? The first term x. What should be multiplied this first term x so that it becomes 3x square? What should be multiplied with x so that it becomes 3x square? So we know that it should be multiplied with 3x. If I multiply this x with 3x, it will become my 3x square. Same to same as our division method. We also do this way only. We multiply this number with the quotient to get this number. Same we did in this. The first term of the divisor to be multiplied with some term so that we get the first term of the dividend. So if x is multiplied by 3x, it will become 3x square. But here there was second term also. This plus 1 term also should be multiplied to 3x, because this term 3x, it cannot be only multiplied with one term. It has to multiply with all the terms in the divisor. So this 1 will also get multiplied by 3x. 1 into 3x is 3x. That is positive 3x. That term which you are getting after multiplication of this second term with the quotient, always remember to keep below the like term. 3x was a like term of x. So I have kept this below x. Now, in general form, I want you to come back to this over here. What we did 2 into 5, that is 10. Now what we did of 11 and 10, we subtracted it. This is the method taught to us, that whatever the answer comes over it, subtract it, and that is your remainder. Okay, same happens with this polynomial also. We have to subtract them. If we want to subtract them, we will change their sign. Here 3x square was positive, it will become minus. Here 3x was positive, this will become minus. We have to subtract, that means we have to change their sign and use the changed sign. They will get cancelled. 3x square minus 3x square, this should get cancelled compulsorily. Here x minus 3x. What is x minus 3x? It will be minus 2x. This third term will be taken down without changing the sign, because this was from the question only. We have to change the sign only of the terms we obtained by multiplying the divisor to the quotient. Now this x, and we have this x. What should be multiplied? X. So we get minus 2x. We need minus 2x. X should be multiplied to which number to get minus 2x? So answer is minus 2. I want to convert to minus 2. So x multiplied by minus 2 will get minus 2x. Similarly, this 1 should also multiply to this minus 2. So if I multiply 1 to minus 2, answer will be minus 2. Same, we have to subtract it. Subtraction means change the sign. This is negative, so this will become to positive. This negative will become to positive. This term, if I add minus 2x plus 2x, they will get cancelled out. Minus 2x plus 2x, they will get cancelled out. Minus 1 plus 2 will be equals to 1. Minus 1 plus 2 will become 1. Now, as we can see, there is no x term left over here. So we cannot divide now. You cannot multiply x with any number to make it 1. There should be at least one x over here so that you can multiply it, because x multiplied to any number cannot give 1. Okay, so this is the final answer. This 1 is your remainder. This 3x minus 2 is your quotient. If you understood, then it's okay. If not, then go back to this video and understand how to divide them. So this is a question and this is a remainder. The question is now, till what step we should continue? See, the degree of dividend was 2. The degree of divisor was 1. We have gone to the degree. This is the remainder. What is the degree of remainder over here? 0. So we have divided till the step when the degree of the remainder is less than the degree of the divisor. If there is one x left over here, we would have again divided it. Or x square or x cube. We have to divide till the point when the degree of the remainder is less than the degree of divisor. Suppose if there is x square over here and we go on dividing, then we have to stop when there x comes in the remainder. As soon as x comes in the remainder, we have to stop it. Why we have to stop it? Because if there is x square over here in the divisor, you cannot multiply anything to x square to make it x. You have to divide it. You cannot multiply anything. So if the degree of the divisor is 2 and the degree of remainder came out to be 1, means अगर x की टर्म यहाँ पर आती और यहाँ पे x square होता तो वो x की टर्म ही आपका रिमाइंडर बन जाती. Let us take one more example. Okay, so for better understanding, and I want you to understand this topic thoroughly. Okay, so let us take another example so that we may understand this in a greater depth. My p of x, that is dividend, is given as x raised to 4 minus 5x plus 6, and my divisor is given as 2 minus x square. This sum is actually from the 10th standard textbook only, so that we can create a better understanding of this sum. First thing, the dividend should be inside that what we say in that division method. Here we can see there is an x raised to 4 term, but there is no cube or square term. If there is no such term, it is easy. It becomes easy if we deliberately put that terms. So if I want to put a cube term over here, I will write 0x cube. I will write 0x cube. This 0x cube will give me the hint that there is no x cube term. But we need this because in division, we don't know which terms we are going to get. Plus 0x square. See, there was not cube term, there was not square term. So we have to keep this square and cube and square term respectively with the coefficient as 0. Minus 5x was there, plus 6 was there. Now they are in descending order. So again, if there is some missing terms with missing degrees, put that terms in between them. Divide it. The divisor is 2 minus x square. We have to keep it in descending order. So this x square will come ahead. It is minus x square. So here it will be minus x square. Now in divisor, we don't need to write in the missing terms. We don't need to write x over here, because we are multiplying this divisor and the answer will come over here. So we don't need to multiply the divisor with any x. We don't have to add x term. 0x add करने की जरूरत नहीं है. But here it was plus 2, so I am writing plus 2. So in dividend, you need to write the missing degree terms, but in divisor, it is not need. But the fact is, we have to rearrange in proper descending order. Now this minus x square. By what should we multiply this minus x square? So it becomes plus x raised to 4. So we will multiply it with minus, because minus and minus will become plus. So first we have multiplied with minus. Now x square should be multiplied with which terms to become x raised to 4? So we will multiply with minus x square. If I multiply with minus x square, this will become plus x raised to 4 minus minus plus. Now plus 2 into minus x square, that is minus 2x square. So x square should come below the x square term, that is minus 2x square. There is x cube term we didn't got, but we have written, because what if we get this term? We will not able to write below any term. So for the like terms, we need to add these two terms. See, x square, I added 0x square, that's why I was able to write x square term below it. If I forget to write this x square term, where would I write this x square term? We will not be having any like terms to it. So we added it deliberately. Now subtraction. Subtraction means changing the sign. This will become minus, this will become plus. This will cancel out. No need to take this down, because now 0x cube doesn't hold good. That will not be a first term. Here 0 plus 2, so this will become plus 2x square, and the remaining terms as it is minus 5x plus 6 remaining terms. I have not taken 0x cube because 0x cube, that would be our first term, and we don't need 0. 0 cannot be written as the first term. Now minus x square should be multiplied to something to become plus 2x square. If we want to convert minus to plus, we have to keep multiplied with minus. Now x square to 2x square, so I'll multiply with 2. This will become 2x square plus 2 into minus 2 is minus 4. See, I have not written anything below x because we didn't got any term related to x. We got directly as constant 4, so I have kept this below the constant term only. Now if I subtract them, this will become minus, this will become plus. This will get cancelled out. This term as it is minus 5x. See, here I have not taken down 0x cube, but here I am taking down minus 5x. What is the reason? 0x cube will be, the term will be 0. So no need to take it down. But minus 5x has some value, it is not 0. So I have taken minus 5x below. 6 plus 4, that will be 10. Now, can you more divide it? No. Here the degree of the divisor was 2 and the degree of remainder is 1 over here. So you cannot divide them. You cannot divide them. Understood? For division, the degree of remainder should be greater than the degree of divisor. So we got this as our quotient and this as a remainder. Therefore, quotient q of x would be minus x square minus 2 and the remainder rx, it will be minus 5x plus 10. I hope you understood this division method. Okay. Now I am coming back to my topic of remainder theorem. This topic is only for the 9th standard, and 10th standard can have it as a revision, but not for 8th standard. So 8th standard students, you can quit this video right now if you have understood the division of polynomial by polynomial. But 9th standard and 10th standard, please continue to watch this video. 10th standard for revision and 9th standard for your new topic. As we have seen that P of x is equals to g of x into q of x plus r of x. This is our dividend, this is our divisor, this is our quotient, and this as remainder. What if I make g of x 0? If I make g of x as 0, in that form, this term will become 0. So my P of x will be equals to r of x. In the exercise 2.2, we have substituted the values of remainder to that term, and if I substitute that value to remainder that term, we will get the value of P of x. See, example in 2.2 we have taken, suppose P of x is equals to 5x square minus 1, and if take the value of x as 2, this will become 5, 2 square minus 1. So 5 into 4 minus 1, that is 20 minus 1, that is 19. You remember this. We are substituting the value of x as 2 and we got this value. Now, actually what does this mean? If we substitute the value of x as something, what does that mean? This gives me the hint that if this value which I have substituted makes the divisor 0. See, divisor was also in the form of x, quotient was also form of x, and remainder was also in form of x. If I put some value of x in the dividend, if I take some value of x in the dividend which makes my divisor equals to 0, then the value which I will be getting for the dividend after substituting the value of variable will be equals to the remainder. अब हिंदी में समझिए, आपको एक डिविडेंड दिया हुआ है, उस डिविडेंड में आपको आपने डिविडेंड इज इक्वल्स टू डिवाइजर इनटू क्वोशिएंट प्लस रिमाइंडर, आपने डिविडेंड के अंदर एक वेरिएबल की ऐसी वैल्यू पुट की जिसकी वजह से डिवाइजर हमारा 0 हो गया. डिवाइजर भी एक एक्स की पॉलिनोमियल था, या ये समझ लीजिए हमने एक वेरिएबल की एक ऐसी वैल्यू ढूंढ ली जिसमें हमारा डिवाइजर 0 हो जाता है. अगर डिवाइजर उसमें 0 हो जाता है और वही वैल्यू हम एक्स की वेरिएबल की डिविडेंड में डालते हैं, तो जो भी डिविडेंड की वैल्यू आएगी वही वैल्यू रिमाइंडर की होगी, क्योंकि हमने अभी प्रूव किया है कि जब डिवाइजर 0 हो जाता है तो उस वक्त जो डिविडेंड की वैल्यू होगी वो वैल्यू रिमाइंडर के इक्वल होगी. अंडरस्टूड दिस? आई एम रिपीटिंग दिस अगेन एंड अगेन बिकॉज दिस टॉपिक इतना इजीली समझ नहीं आएगा. अगर कुछ वैल्यू है रिमाइंडर की, सॉरी वेरिएबल की, वो वैल्यू पुट करके अगर हमारा डिवाइजर जीरो हो जाता है, अगर हमारा डिवाइजर जीरो हो जाता है, तो x की वही वैल्यू अगर मैं डिविडेंड में पुट करूंगा तो डिविडेंड को सॉल्व करके जो मुझे वैल्यू मिलेगी वो मिलेगा रिमाइंडर ऑफ दैट डिविडेंड व्हेन डिवाइडेड बाय दैट डिवाइजर. अब समझ आया? तो अगर मुझे सिर्फ यही पूछा है, मुझे किसी ने ये नहीं पूछा, इफ समवन आस्क मी फाइंड द रिमाइंडर व्हेन p of x is divided by g of x. p of x को अगर मैं g of x से डिवाइड करूं और मुझे सिर्फ इतना पूछा है कि फाइंड द वैल्यू ऑफ रिमाइंडर, दे डोंट नीड मी टू गेट दिस लॉन्ग डिवीजन मेथड. कुछ लॉन्ग डिवीजन करने की जरूरत नहीं है, रिमाइंडर फाइंड करने की जरूरत ऐसे नहीं होती. बस मुझे इतना ध्यान रखना है कि g of x को मुझे जीरो कर देना है. अगर मैं g of x को जीरो कर दूंगा तो जो भी मुझे p of x की वैल्यू मिलेगी वो मेरा r of x हो जाएगा. ये तभी पॉसिबल है, दिस इज ओनली पॉसिबल व्हेन g of x इज अ लीनियर पॉलिनोमियल. ये जो g of x है अगर ये लीनियर पॉलिनोमियल है, लीनियर पॉलिनोमियल मतलब इसका डिग्री 1 है. तो लेट अस टेक एन एग्जांपल. सपोज p of x, मैं यही एग्जांपल वापस लेता हूं. p of x हमको दिया था 3x² plus x minus 1. g of x was given to us as x plus 1. This was given to us. Suppose they don't want us to find the quotient, they only require the remainder. They ask us find the remainder when this polynomial is divided by this polynomial. If we just want to find the remainder, what will we do? We will find the value of x from divisor such a way that our divisor becomes 0. So I will equate the divisor to 0. If I equate the divisor to 0, we will get a value of x. If we substitute the value of x, this 1 will go on that side. It will become minus 1. It will become minus 1. This value of x, I will substitute in the dividend. Value of x as minus 1. So 3 multiplied by minus 1 square plus minus 1 minus 1. What is minus 1 square? Minus 1 square is 1. 1 into 3 will become 3. Plus into minus 1 minus 1, and there was a minus 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. Can you see the remainder in both the ways we got same? In short, if the question asked to us that find the remainder, only find the remainder when this polynomial is divided by this polynomial. So if we just want to find the remainder, see, the question should not be like that, divide these two polynomials. If the question is divide these two polynomials, then definitely you have to go with this method. But the question is only to find the remainder. If only remainder is asked, then I will equate the g of x, that is divisor, to 0. जो भी divisor है उसको हम 0 से equate करेंगे. उसको equate करने से क्या फायदा होगा? उसको equate करने से ये फायदा होगा कि हमको एक x की वैल्यू मिल जाएगी. x की जो वैल्यू मिलेगी उस वैल्यू को हम डिविडेंड में सब्स्टिट्यूट करेंगे. द वैल्यू वी गॉट ऑफ x, वी विल सब्स्टिट्यूट दैट वैल्यू इन द डिविडेंड. आफ्टर सब्स्टिट्यूटिंग द वैल्यू ऑफ डिविडेंड, द वैल्यू ऑफ डिविडेंड वी गेट, द फाइनल वैल्यू विल बी द रिमाइंडर. कैसे पता चला कि हमने g of x को 0 कर दिया था? अगर हम g of x को 0 कर देते हैं, जो मैंने यहाँ पे किया, तो p of x की वैल्यू r of x के इक्वल हो जाती है. This is the proof of it, and this is one of the example. This is known as remainder theorem. So the proper statement of remainder theorem is if g of x, that is divisor, is equal to 0, for some value of x, if divisor becomes equal to 0, then for that value of x, the dividend will be equals to the remainder of that polynomial when divided by g of x. This is known as remainder theorem. If you didn't understood the remainder theorem, please go back through this small section again so that you can get a grip of what is remainder theorem. In short, this was only the explanation. Now application is very easy. You want to find the remainder when this polynomial is getting divided by one polynomial. equate the divisor to 0, find the value of x and then substitute in the dividend, you will get the value. But this is possible only and only if the divisor has the degree 1. यहाँ पे अगर x square plus 1 होता तो मैं ये नहीं कर पाता, तो मुझे लॉन्ग डिवीजन से जाना पड़ता. बट लीनियर है तो वी कैन डू दिस मेथड. अंडरस्टूड क्या करना है? अच्छा, अब क्वेश्चन को थोड़ा और ट्विस्ट किया जा सकता है. अगर आप किसी भी दो नंबर्स को डिवाइड करते हैं और अगर रिमाइंडर 0 आता है तो इसका मतलब क्या होता है? लेट्स टेक एन एग्जांपल ऑफ 10 डिवाइड बाय 2. वी नो दैट 5s are 10, remainder is 0. If the remainder is 0, what does that mean? If the remainder is 0, that means this divisor is a factor of the dividend. One more thing, this dividend is a multiple of divisor. So same happens with polynomials. If r of x equals to 0 means कुछ रिमाइंडर बचा ही नहीं, रिमाइंडर 0 हो गया. If r of x is equals to 0, we can say that g of x is a factor of p of x or p of x is a multiple of g of x. p of x हमारा डिविडेंड होता है, g of x हमारा डिवाइजर होता है. तो अगर रिमाइंडर 0 है तो g of x is a factor of p of x and p of x is a multiple of g of x. ये हमारा g of x है, ये हमारा p of x है. इसके एग्जांपल से लेके देखिए. This is the multiple of this and this is a factor of this if the remainder is 0. Same follows with polynomial. This is known as factor theorem. For the next exercise 2.4, this is known as factor theorem. So now what we learnt again, if you want to find only the remainder, then equate the divisor to 0, find the value of variable, substitute that value and you will get the remainder. But this method can also be used to find whether g of x is a factor of p of x or not. How will you find whether g of x is a factor of p of x or not? Same method. Equate the g of x equals to 0. Substitute that value of p of x in p of x. If that value after substituting comes out to be 0, means here the remainder comes out to be 0. So if remainder comes out to be 0, that means this g of x was a factor of p of x. So this is our factor theorem also. If the remainder comes out to be 0, then g of x is a factor of p of x. So what did we learn? There are two different type of questions. What are the two different type of questions? First question, they ask us find the remainder when p of x is divided by g of x. One polynomial is divided by the other. You know this method now. Second question, find whether g of x is a factor of p of x or not. If the question asks is find whether g of x is a factor of p of x or not, or other question, find whether p of x is a multiple of gx or not. P of x is a multiple of g of x or not. In all these three questions, you have to just do this method. The answer you will get will be the remainder. If this remainder comes out to be 0, then g of x is a factor of p of x. If remainder comes out to be 0, p of x is a multiple of g of x. But if answer doesn't comes out to be 0, g of x is not a factor of p of x and p of x is not a multiple of g of x. So you understood these three types. This was very important for the next two exercises. So I think so this concept is clear to you. We will start with the exercise in the next video. Till then, stay tuned and please revise this topic as much as you can. Thank you.